Here are my goofy friends modeling my sweater vest that I created. If you want to make your own, continue watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy. For this tutorial, you're going to need 1 to 2 skeins of yarn. This is the brand of yarn that I'm using, Lion brand, and here are all of the details. Feel free to screenshot. For the ribbing and the borders, we're going to use a 3.75mm crochet hook, and for the rest of the project, we're going to use a 4.5mm crochet hook. You will also need a yarn needle and scissors. With the 3.75mm crochet hook, go ahead and make a slip knot. Then we're going to chain 9. Go ahead and skip that first stitch, the 9th one, and go into the 8th. We're going to make slip stitches into each stitch all the way down. To make a slip stitch, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Again, that's going into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Continue this until you have made 1 single crochet into each chain. You should have a total of 8 single crochets when you're at the end of the row, because we did skip the 9th. Go ahead and count your stitches, make sure you have 8 V's all the way across. Then chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to start the ribbing. So for the rest of the ribbing, we're only going into the back loops, which are these back ones. Versus how we normally would, we would go underneath both loops. We're not doing that. So go ahead and make 1 single crochet into the back loops only, all the way down. You should have 8. So to go into the back loops, I'm going through the top of the stitch, just into the loop furthest away from me. And continuing as normal with my single crochets. This is going to create a ribbing pattern where it looks like this. When you get to the end of the row, it should look something like this. If not, you might be going into the whole stitch and you just want to go into that back loop. So make sure that you have 8 all the way across, then chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the same thing on this side, only going into those back loops all the way across. Repeat this until you have a total of 57 rows. So you chain 1, turn, go into the back loops, chain 1, turn, repeat. This is what it looks like when you have 57 rows complete, and that is the length of the front panel of the sweater vest. So all the way down, 57 rows. If you want it to be bigger, smaller, add more or less rows. And if you have a sweater vest that you want to kind of emulate, I recommend measuring it along the top and seeing if it is the same length. So for me, it is 57 rows. Once you have 57 rows, we're going to start on the rest of the sweater vest. So insert your hook, and this time we're using the 4.5mm crochet hook into your little loop and chain 1. This is going to be the height of our half double crochets, which we'll be working with for the rest of the sweater. We're going to put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way down. So there's not really a specific spot to put in your stitches. I'm just going to put 1 into this loop, and then from then on I'm going in 2 into each valley, because we have the right side and the left side, the right side and the left side. So I'm putting 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, all the way down, and you should have a total of 57 half double crochets when you're done. To make a half double crochet, yarn over like so, insert your hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull through, You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches. Continuing on, yarn over, insert your hook into somewhere, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Continue this all the way down. I'm putting 2 half double crochets into each valley. One on the right side, one on the left side. You can do whatever you feel like as long as you have the same number of stitches as you did rows for the ribbing by the end. For me, I will have 57 half double crochets when I reach the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, it should look something like this. Again, make sure to count on the top and make sure that you have 57 stitches or the same amount of rows that you have for the ribbing. Then go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Then we're going to put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way down, going under both loops this time. So go into each of these holes with a half double crochet all the way down. You're just going to repeat this, and I'll come back and tell you for how many rows that you're going to repeat it for. So putting half double crochets into each stitch all the way down, chaining 1, turning, doing another row the other direction, chaining 1, turning, and repeating the process. And I'll meet you guys back with for how many rows to do that for. Okay, so repeat your half double crochets all the way across for a total of 20 rows. For the next row, we're going to put 2 decreases on both ends here and just normal half double crochets throughout the middle. Chain 1, turn your work. So for our half double crochet decrease, yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the second stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. And that's 1 decrease, so we want to put 1 more. Yarn over, insert hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the second stitch, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through all 5 loops. After your decreases, it should look like this, and we're going to continue putting half double crochets all the way down the row until we get to the remaining 4 stitches, because we have 2 more decreases to put at the end. I'll see you at the end of the row. As you can see, I have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, and don't forget this corner stitch, 4. Yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into that second stitch, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. Repeat this with the last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn your work. So for the next row, go ahead and count how many stitches you have across the top. I have 53. Then to find the middle stitch, divide that number by 2. So I'm actually at the 27th stitch for my stitch marker from the right and from the left. And if I fold it in half, you can see that the stitch marker is at the center. We're gonna go ahead and work on the right side first, and then we'll come back and do the left side the same way we do the right side. So if your stitches are different than mine, you should find somewhere to write them down so you can repeat the exact same thing on the opposite side. We are gonna put 2 decreases into these first 4 stitches, and then continue across as normal with half double crochets. And then into the last stitch and the stitch with the stitch marker, we're putting 1 decrease. To begin, yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through all 5 loops. Repeat that once more with the next 2 stitches. And then continue with normal half double crochets until you have 2 remaining stitches left. Hey Ryan. Now that we're at the stitch marker, there's one more stitch and then the stitch with the stitch marker. Go ahead and put one decrease into both of these stitches. And keep the stitch marker there because we're going to put a decrease into that stitch again when we come from the opposite side later. Chain one and turn your work. To start the next row, put one decrease into the first two stitches. So one decrease. And then continue making half double crochets until you have 4 stitches remaining at the end of the row. I have 4 stitches remaining, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put 2 decreases chain 1 and turn your work. For the next row, we're going to put 2 decreases in the first 4 stitches. 1 decrease. 2 decreases. Continue for the remaining stitches until the last 2 with normal half double crochets. I have 2 stitches remaining, 1, 2. Remember to count this last stitch. And I'm going to put 1 half double crochet decrease into these remaining stitches. Just to clarify, so far we've been putting 2 half double crochet decreases on all of the outside sides and 1 decrease on the inside sides, and that will be repeated when we go in this direction as well. Chain 1, turn your work. We are on the inside side, so we're just putting 1 half double crochet decrease to start. And then continuing until the remaining 4 stitches with just normal half double crochets. I have 4 stitches remaining and I'm putting 2 half double crochet decreases into the remaining 4 stitches. You should have something that looks like this so far. Chain 1, turn your work. Alright, after you chain 1 and turn your work, now we're going to put 1 decrease at the beginning and 1 decrease at the end and normal half double crochets between. So 1 decrease now, then normal half double crochets, and when you have 2 stitches at the end, put 1 decrease. Chain 1, turn your work. For the next row, put 1 decrease at both sides again. So 1 decrease now. Half double crochet as normal until you have 2 remaining stitches. And then 1 decrease into the last 2 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. So now we're going to stop putting decreases on this side and only continue with the inside rows. So when you're chaining and turning your work, make sure to notice which side you're starting at, whether you're on the outside of your sweater vest or if you are on the inside, which is the middle part. So since we're at the outside, we're not going to put any decreases. We're just going to put half double crochets until we get to 2 remaining stitches closest to the inside. I have 2 remaining stitches of this row, and I'm going to put 1 decrease. Chain 1, turn your work. Now we're starting at the side of the row that's near the middle, so our decrease comes first. So start with a decrease, and then half double crochet as normal until the end of the row. Chain 1 and turn your work. After you chain 1 and turn your work, for this row, which is row 29, we're not doing any decreases at all. So just put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way along this row. Chain 1, turn your work. For this row, we are also not putting any decreases, so go ahead and put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way along this row. Chain 1 and turn your work. For this next row, again, no decreases whatsoever, just 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way along this row. Chain 1 and turn your work. For this next row, chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to start off with 1 decrease on the inside side. So the side that is close to the safety pin. And then 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. Chain 1 and turn your work. For this row, we're going to put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across, and I'll come back and tell you for how many rows to repeat that for. So no decreases on either side, just 1 half double crochet all the way down the row. Repeat rows of no decreases until you have made a total of 3 rows or 2 more rows. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. I am on the side that has my safety pin, so I am going to start with a decrease. So 1 decrease, and then the remaining stitches just get 1 half double crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. For this row, we're going to make no decreases, so 1 half double crochet into each stitch. I will come back in the next clip and tell you for how many rows of this to do. Repeat that for 2 more rows for a total of 3 rows with no decreases whatsoever. Then chain 1 and turn your work. I am on the side that is closest to the safety pin, so I'm going to start this row with a decrease. So 1 decrease in the first 2 stitches. Then complete the rest of the row with 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. For the next row, Put 1/2 double crochet into each stitch, no decreases in any. For the next row, chain 1 and turn, then make 1 decrease to start and put 1/2 double crochet in the remaining stitches. So just to clarify, my decrease is on the side that is close to the safety pin. Chain 1 and turn your work. For the next row, put 1/2 double crochet into each stitch until you have 2 remaining stitches of this row. I have 2 remaining stitches and I'm going to put 1 decrease to combine both of them. This decrease is on the side that is with the safety pin. Then chain 1 and turn your work. You should have 4 stitches in this row. Then go ahead and just put 1/2 double crochet into each stitch all the way across, and I'll come back and tell you for how many rows of that to repeat. Repeat that for 2 more rows for a total of 3 rows with no decreases. You should still have 4 stitches remaining. Chain 1, pull up a large loop and cut. You should have enough string to sew the panels together, which you just need about this length at least. So this should be perfectly enough. Go ahead and attach your yarn here and repeat the same process that we just did for this side on this side. Just to help you guys start, I thought I would show you. I'm going to insert my hook into this last stitch and chain 1. After that, I'm going to start off with a decrease, including the stitch I just went into. So 1 decrease on this end. Then 1 more decrease. And then I'm going to just put 1/2 double crochet into the remaining stitches until I reach the stitch before the stitch with the safety pin. I'll meet you guys at the safety pin. Alright, so I have 1 more stitch before the stitch with the safety pin, right here, and then the stitch with the safety pin. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 decrease, which will connect both of those stitches. 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, go into the stitch with the safety pin, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. And that is creating our little divide. Then you can remove that safety pin. Chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the same steps that we did here on this side. This is what your sweater vest front panel should look like. And now we're going to go ahead and start on the back panel, which is going to pretty much start out the same. We're going to make the same amount of ribbing and a lot of the similar rows. To start the back panel, we're using a 3.75mm crochet hook. Make a slip knot. And chain 9. Once you have 9 chains, go ahead and single crochet into the 8th chain. So skip that first chain and go into the 2nd chain from the hook. Single crochet into each stitch all the way down. You should have a total of 8 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. Then, instead of going into each single crochet like this, we're going into the top and only through that back loop. So we're skipping this front loop and we're going into the back loop. So right under, and put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way across. only in the back loops. This is again to create that ribbing pattern. Don't forget that last stitch. Make sure to check and make sure that you have 8 stitches total. Chain 1, turn your work. Repeat that last row of going only into the back loops of your row and putting 1 single crochet until you have a total of 57 rows, or if you did a different number for your front panel, repeat the same number of rows that you had for your front panel ribbing for the back panel ribbing. And I'll meet you guys back. After you have completed 57 rows, or the desired amount of rows, insert your 4.5mm crochet hook into your loop and chain 1. Then, just like last time, we're going to put 1 half double crochet into each row. So we should end up with 57 half double crochet stitches by the time we get to the other side. Like before, I'm going to put 1 half double crochet into this first row, and then after that I'm going to put 2 into each valley all the way across. So we'll have 1 half double crochet in this half valley, and then we'll have 1 half double crochet on the right side of the valley and 1 on the left side of the valley. And by valley I mean like little divots. So I'll have 2 in here, 2 in here, 2 in here, all the way across, and I should end up with 57 half double crochets. There aren't really specific spots to put a half double crochet, I just go wherever I can. Continue making half double crochets like this. See, I put 2 in each divot, and I'll meet you guys at the end of the row. This is what mine looks like, and then at the end of the row, go ahead and chain 1 for the next several rows, and I'll clarify the amount in the next clip. Put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. No increases, no decreases, just 1 half double crochet into each stitch. I am currently weaving an end as I go, in case you're wondering what that is. I'll meet you guys back in the next clip with more information about how many rows to continue this on for. So here's what my project looks like after 20 rows. And now chain 1 and flip your work. For the next 4 rows, we're going to put 2 decreases on this side and 2 decreases on this side with normal half double crochets in between. So you're going to repeat this for 4 total rows. So 1 decrease to start, five loops on your hook, you'll never pull through all 5. Then make a second decrease, and then continue as normal with just plain half double crochets until you have 4 remaining stitches. I'll meet you guys back then. I have 4 stitches remaining, and I'm going to make 2 decreases. Repeat this row for 3 more rows for a total of 4 rows with these 2 decreases at the beginning and the end of each row, and I'll meet you guys back. This is what my project looks like after 4 rows with 2 decreases on both sides. And now for 2 rows, we're just going to put 1 decrease at the beginning and 1 decrease at the end with normal half double crochets in between. And we're going to repeat that for 2 rows. So just 1 decrease, and then normal half double crochets, and then I'll meet you when you have 2 remaining stitches of this row left. Okay, I have 2 remaining stitches, so I'm just going to put 1 decrease to join them. Chain 1 and turn your work. For the next row, we're going to put no decreases at all, just half double crochets all the way across. Like this. And I will come back and tell you for how many rows to repeat that for. Here's what my project looks like so far. Make 16 rows with no decreases whatsoever, just normal half double crochets. I did pull on the sides here to make them more flat, like this. Up at the top, we're gonna start creating a space for the head, so we're gonna work a little bit over here and a little bit on this side. And after the 16th row, chain 1 and turn your work. Make 6 half double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Start with a decrease. Then go ahead and make 4 more half double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Make 3 half double crochets. In the last 2 stitches, make 1 decrease. Chain 1, turn your work. Make 4 half double crochets. No decreases or anything, just 4 normal half double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. And again, 4 normal half double crochets. Chain 1, pull up your yarn. After you chain 1, cut off your yarn and pull tight. We're going to repeat what we just did right here on the opposite side. Insert your yarn into the corner. Yarn over and pull through and through the loop on your hook. Chain 1. Make 1 half double crochet into that same stitch that you attached your yarn into. And make a total of 6 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn your work. Start with a decrease. Then make 4 more half double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Make 3 half double crochets. Finish with 1 decrease. For the next 2 rows, make 4 half double crochets and no decreases. Chain 1, pull up your yarn, cut, and pull tight. Congratulations on finishing the back panel. Next we're going to sew them together, so I laid my panels one on top of the other, and we're going to line up the sides, both sides, and also the tops here. So for these we're going to sew together up here at the top. We're going to leave this part open, and then we're going to start sewing from here to here on both sides. So cut a string about twice as long as this length here. So this is my string, and thread it through your yarn needle. I'm starting at the corners of my ribbing, going through that first stitch of the first panel and through the first stitch of the second panel. Pull it mostly through and then tie a knot with the ends. I like to lay my tail end across the top so that I end up sewing it in. We go through the second stitch of the first and second stitch of the second panel to sew them together. Come back to the front, go through the third stitches of both panels, pull tight, go through the fourth stitches of both panels like this. And continue this all the way down. We're going to continue this until we get to the last row that has no decreases. So this is the row where the decreases begin. So my last stitch will end in this row, the row before, that has no decreases. I'm just weaving it in once through each row. And I'll meet you guys at the end, at the last row with no decreases. I'm going into my last row now, and I'm going to pull it through, but not all the way. So I'm holding my loop here, and I'm going to go through that loop with my string and pull it tight. And I'm going to do that one more time through the same spot. Go through, not all the way, put the tail through the loop, and pull tight. And that is the knot. So you should have it sewn all the way until this point. And then we're going to leave it unsewn, and then we're going to sew at the top here these 4 stitches together. So we should have left a tail that's already attached with a long string. If not, you can just attach your own string and line up the stitches. Go through the first stitch of the first panel and the first stitch of the second panel. Go through the second stitch of the first panel and the second stitch of the second panel, then the third stitches, and lastly the 4th stitches. For this last one, leave a little loop, go through your loop, hold tight, go through again, leave a loop, go through your loop, and hold tight. And now the top is also sewn together. Repeat this on the opposite side and then I will meet you guys back. Okay, so this is what your sweater vest should look like. Both sides sewn all the way up and both of the straps sewn and a nice big hole for the arms. Now turn your work inside out. This should make the seams go on the inside. And now we're going to work with our 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. I'll show you on one sleeve and then you can repeat it on the other sleeve. Make a slip knot and attach your yarn at the armpit. So I'm attaching it into that first stitch spot to the left of the seam. You can attach your yarn really anywhere. Make a slip stitch and chain 1. Go put 1 single crochet into each row. So you can find your spot. There's not really a specific spot to put your single crochets, and you don't have to count them or anything, just go wherever feels natural. But about 1 to 2 per row. Continue this all the way around and I'll meet you when you're back at the armpit. So I just finished making my border single crochets around the sleeve, and now I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch that we made. Yarn over, pull through and through the loop on your hook and chain 1. Pull up your yarn and cut through the loop. Repeat that on the other sleeve and then I will show you what to do for the middle part. For the middle part, make a slip knot. I like to start mine right at the seam where we attached the sleeves together at the top of the sweater vest. So it doesn't really matter where, just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and the loop on your hook. Chain 1 and make 1 single crochet in the stitch that you're in. And continue making single crochets, about 1 in each row, until you've made it down to right here. And then I'll show you what to do. Okay, so for this last part, we're gonna make a decrease, but with 3 instead of 2 stitches. So, and we're doing single crochet decreases, so don't yarn over first. Insert your hook into the right side of the center corner. So we're at the corner right now. So the right side. Then yarn over, pull through. Go straight into that middle hole. Yarn over, pull through. And then go into the stitch on the left. Yarn over, pull through. And then you should have 4 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Then continue as normal with 1 single crochet all the way along until you get back to where we started, and I'll meet you guys back. Okay, so to close off, just insert your hook into that beginning stitch that we made, yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. Then chain 1 and pull up your yarn, and then you can just cut it off. And then pull that tight. To weave in an end, thread your needle. I like to weave it in on the back side, so I find the pretty side with the V's, and I flip it over, and then I just thread it through wherever you want. I'm gonna go down the side, and I'm just stabbing right through the stitches, going underneath these loops. My needle isn't really visible on either side because I'm going straight through the middle of the stitch, and I'm going underneath each of these V's along the side. Then you can just pull it through and cut off the excess. Okay. And that's how you weave in an end. Repeat this for all of your ends, and you should get a beautiful looking sweater vest that looks nice and complete. So we have finished all of the sides and around the borders, and all the ends are weaved in. So congratulations.
Are you recording? Are you taking serious or smile? Yeah. Serious?
Okay, now spin a little bit.
Oh.
Perfect.